AI has changed the world. Since ChatGPT became mainstream, over 16% of people currently use AI for everyday tasks. As AI video generation improves its capabilities, a question has come up. How will AI affect the film industry? And more interesting to me, how will it affect visual effects? I've been editing for 4 years and just recently began to dabble into VFX. And with the endless debates on AI in different art fields, I want to discover how AI is changing this particular industry. For those new to the idea of visual effects, it's important to set in place a clean definition. For this video, I will be defining visual effects as the act of changing or altering a video or element in post-production. Think Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean or the water physics in Avatar. We'll definitely be talking about Avatar again later. Now let's get back on track. During my time researching this topic, I spoke with a number of filmmakers, editors, and VFX artists. One of the people I spoke with was Michael Tanzillo, a 3D artist who has worked on these animated films, founded the 3D artist community, and is currently the global head of 3D tech artists at Adobe's Substance 3D team. He stated that VFX has typically always been a bit of a race to the bottom. VFX is very competitive, with countless studios trying to secure the largest projects by taking advantage of whatever they can to cut costs and time. The VFX industry will use AI if they can, and in fact they have been for a while. AI has somewhat been used for rotoscoping, a way that VFX artists and animators can trace over live-action footage, and motion capture, when an actor's movement or face is tracked so it can be used to animate a 3D character. However, while these techniques can be done by AI, they are still better done by humans at the moment. During my talk with Michael Tanzillo, he brought up a number of ways that AI can be used in tandem with VFX. One of the things he brought up first was concepting. Many solo VFX artists attest to the fact that AI is crucial in their brainstorming process. It would likely also be incredibly useful for when a director has to get across an idea of what a shot should look like to a team of VFX artists. The second thing Michael Tanzillo brought up was for individual components of a shot, things that don't quite necessitate a person working on them. Say a line of ants walking through a jungle. That was the example he used. The components piece is currently possible. Some AI software can generate 3D models. However, these tools can be hit and miss. But I spoke with an employee at Weta. Weta is one of the largest and most successful VFX companies in the world, and they're the company responsible for Lord of the Rings and Avatar. Through speaking with this person, I was told the main example I've heard of VFX used in feature films, VFX involved machine learning as opposed to generative AI. For example, for Deadpool 2 and 3, machine learning was used to assist in animating Deadpool's mask. It used the data from the first movie to suggest facial expressions for the audio. There are a lot of issues that need to be tweaked, but it saved a lot of work for the VFX team. Or how a crowd simulation was used in Lord of the Rings for a majority of the large-scale battles, or the simulation tool Loki developed for liquid effects in the most recent Avatar movies, which includes fire, water, and such. There are a ton of simulation tools that have some machine learning or AI systems built in, but it's important to note that these are algorithms that handle complex mathematical and scientific simulations. It's not really what most people would consider AI. Typically, when people talk about AI in an artistic industry, it's about generative AI. Generative AI in visual effects isn't really being used at all. One reason is because of the copyrightability of AI work. Copyright laws around AI are vague, especially when it comes to the possibility of stolen training data in many large image and video models. Rights for a film studio are incredibly important. The rights for a movie means full control over merchandise, distribution, and licensing. Big studios don't want to risk losing those rights, as that would counteract any monetary advantage to using AI. An AI model being trained on copyrighted work would mean that the studio might not get to claim copyright control on their movies or show. AI is also just not at the level that most studios require. A lot of AI looks pretty good, but it's still possible to detect the flaws for those who know what to look for. Studios expect everything to look perfect, or they risk getting clowned on by the internet. Besides, most of AI videos that look really good are things like 20-second Jake Paul and fake cat videos, not long animations with specific characters that stay perfectly consistent with real footage for long periods of time. Movies like Marvel films often have large battles that need a lot of visual effects work that last around 10 minutes, and AI struggles with long periods of time and movement. The tools that are currently flaunted as the best AI VFX tools are Kling, VO, Context, and Runway ML. While researching this video, I watched a number of tutorials that showcase their abilities, and quite frankly, they don't look that good. Despite the praise from the people in the videos, the shots produced are not realistic, don't follow basic laws of physics, and just look kind of off. While normally an AI video can look pretty realistic, AI VFX seems to bring out all the worst parts of normal AI video. For a big budget film, it is required that any VFX shot is done in 4K or above. And while some AI software can generate videos at 4K, as my source at Weta said, there are limits on resolution. It can be extremely expensive, if not impossible, to currently generate tons of images at 4K quality. What's crazy is a lot of VFX shots are actually made at a higher resolution than they will be in the final film. Because working in a 3D space means you don't have the same limitations on resolution. A lot of times, shots will be made at an incredibly high resolution and then brought down to 4K or 8K for the actual final product. Now, let's talk about VFX and workflow. Stephen Wolfram is an incredibly famous and semi-controversial scientist and physicist. While many of his theories are debated, one commonly agreed upon theory is his principle of computational irreducibility, which can tell us that no matter how specific your instructions, you can't predict how exactly AI will generate something. Even getting AI to change one aspect of an image will affect all aspects of it, even slightly. This contradicts the way VFX studios have to do their work. Michael Tanzillo related his life as a lighting artist to me, saying that his work would consist of him presenting his VFX work to a supervisor, getting feedback and tiny comments before going to work on the shot for the rest of the day, to implement that feedback, then he would render it overnight and then begin the process again in the morning. VFX is broken up into layers and individual compositions. It's made this way to fit the small bits of feedback given by higher-ups. It's a common occurrence for some VFX artists to be quote-unquote pixel-fucked, where pixels of a shot are singled out as not good enough by a client and have to be edited and revised, even when they barely play a role in the final shot. VFX runs with this workflow of layering specific parts so an artist can tweak a part without having to change the whole thing. It's modular in a sense. And this is not how generative AI makes videos. It generates one singular video where everything is one. AI also just struggles to remember everything it's done. You might ask AI to only change one single thing, and then it randomly changes the whole lighting. This is also why you might see an AI video where the collar on a dog just randomly becomes a bandana. AI can't work in tandem with the live-action footage you would have to match. Even a small change that AI could make could cause major issues if it conflicted with a real live-action shot, or if different AI shots conflict within each other because of the variation. Even if AI is given tons and tons of training data for a specific visual to create, it still can't create the perfect image of it. There's also a lot of overhype with various AI VFX software. I recently saw a demo that came up in conversation with multiple of the creatives I spoke with. What I quickly learned is that many AI startups will overhype the capabilities of their demos or promise future features to get investors. They promote a vision of a software that people see and assume it's something they already have figured out, when normally it still needs a lot of tweaking and isn't fully what's being advertised. At the end of the day, AI is a tool, and it does have some positive applications. It could certainly help alleviate some of the stress on VFX artists at places like Marvel, where their artists are frequently overworked, But it does also have some moral complications. There is certainly an argument for how AI devalues the work that artists put into their craft, how AI is stealing a lot of training data illegally, or how it's just taking jobs. It's a complicated issue. When I spoke with Stephen Kofer, he said something that, while not directly related to VFX, can be easily adapted to fit this situation. He provided a hypothetical situation where an indie filmmaker has to choose between hiring a non-union camera operator and a union camera operator. He was saying that the non-union person will be a lot cheaper to hire, and the actual quality might be as good, but the union will say you need to hire the union camera crew. The union camera crew is going to be significantly more expensive. It will almost double the budget, but making a small non-union film will give the filmmaker more opportunities to make bigger budget union films. This highlights an idea of allowing more people to make what they want to make. If you're a small filmmaker and you have a vision of a film you want to create with some VFX work, but you don't actually have the time to learn VFX, you don't currently learn VFX, and you just want a way to showcase the best version of your film you possibly can, then AI can be something to turn to realize your vision. That still means it should be used to improve your creations. In terms of the actual film itself, AI is not art. AI can also not create art. However, an AI creation can be used to create art when the AI creation is not the focus of the work. So, is AI going to steal every VFX artist's job? Well, right now, no. Generative AI is not good enough for large studios to use, and there are just too many risks, from copyright to public backlash. And really, the only type of AI that's being used is machine learning, which isn't really generative AI. For an independent filmmaker, AI does offer some powerful tools to assist in VFX shots, but if you're a professional artist, you're safe. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.